we really need to dive into this coaching staff because obviously with a new head coach and Brian Kelly wanting to form his own staff, there has been quite the turnover. In particular, I know that there's a few guys that really stand out on both sides of the ball that have been added that impress you.
Frank Wilson. He's the running backs coach, of course, with the on field, but it's what he brings in the recruiting and behind the scenes culture that he builds there on staff in the program. He's done it. He's been proven at LSU before. Proven recruiter, National Recruiter of the Year from Rivals, ESPN, and Go 24/7, 3 different recruiting services. Even I think NFL.com even gave him National Recruiter of the Year one of those seasons. So many brilliant players came from him. Leonard Fournette, Jarvis Landry, Odell Beckham Jr. The list goes on and on and on. So many high-powered classes from those years, 5-star after 5-star, and he's already proven dividends again. Sealing the deal with Harold Perkins, trying to bring that Texas native / New Orleans native home to where he was first born in New Orleans, and him, Carter Sheridan, they got the job done. But Frank Wilson, I think he can also do something with this running back room because it's stacked. John Emery Jr. should be fantastic. Former 5-star. He had some academic stuff that kept him out last year, but he has shown flashes of being an absolute home run hitter. Corey Keiner, very, very good running back as well. Showed some stunning playmaking ability, jumping over guys, stiff arms, spin moves. He's a do-it-all guy as well. Armani Goodwin, he could do a lot with this running backs group. Jamar Kane, the defensive line and run game coordinator, he negotiated that into his job title. He took the USC job with Lincoln Riley and leaving from Oklahoma, and he was, after about 3 weeks or so, he had enough of that, and he, unlike Lincoln, he wasn't afraid of the SEC, and he wanted to come join Brian Kelly's staff, and he did some great stuff at Oklahoma. Ronnie Perkins and Nick Benito and those guys. That defense had 30-plus sack seasons in back-to-back years under Kane, and he just seems to be a hellraiser on the recruiting trail as well. The fact that everyone expected Brian Kelly once he started hiring Brian Polian, Kerry Cooks, Jake Flint, the strength and conditioning guy, even the nutritionist. All these guys were Notre Dame guys. Even Mike Denbrock, former Notre Dame guy and former Kelly loyalist of his. All these, the national heads, everybody was starting to think this is going to become, Notre Dame South there in LSU. But Kelly kind of went rogue and kind of flipped the script there and just started hiring Louisiana guys to kind of bring that final ingredient there into the staff that would take this staff over the top, teach him and his Notre Dame guys a little bit about Louisiana. And, Cortez Hankton is one of those guys, just like Frank Wilson, the wide receivers coach who just won a national championship at Georgia. He's pulled off, he was kind of handcuffed by Kirby Smart's offensive philosophies and his meddling in the offense, and the receiving production kind of bears that out. But George Pickens, Mecole Hardman, some of the receivers, Jermaine Burton, he stole that guy from LSU. He was committed to LSU. He forced a decommitment there. Eric Gilbert, he forced a decommitment there from LSU as well to bring him to Georgia. And, of course, that national championship ring, his parents are New Orleans Police Department officers, police officers. He born and raised in New Orleans. He's coming back home, and he's excited about it. He's pumped up about it. And he's, according to a lot of the players, he's one of the guys who has the most day-to-day involvement with the roster right now as Kelly handles the transition. And Cortez Hankton, he has a lot to do with this team beyond just the receiving core.